So I'm kind of / very excited about this, guys, but in this video I'm going to show you guys how to mount your thread stay onto your MT1501 or EM1010 or other embroidery machines that are similar to the MT1501. And why would you want to do that? Because you want to avoid your thread looking like this and possibly getting tangled up with each other. Occasionally your threads do get tangled up between each other, and this eliminates that possibility. So let's go ahead and start mounting our thread stay so your machine can go from looking like this to looking like this. How clean is that? You want the top of your machine to look this clean. Bars. In this case, we're going to mount our first thread stay to this stand right here. If you haven't done so already, now is a perfect time to wipe off the top of your spool rack right here before you mount your thread stay, because I know this is not an area where we normally clean. So what I'm going to do, you see the thread getting tangled up already? All right, so I'm going to pull back this thread right here so it's not tangled with thread number 1. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my white thread and I'm going to just untangle a little bit of this white thread right here so I have a little bit of slack to work with. All right, and then I'm going to, all right, see now I have it a little bit slack, a nice amount of extra thread right here. I'm just going to snip it right here. You guys can see, snip it right here. And now I'm going to take my thread stay and I'm just going to drop my thread in the middle of this, okay? So there's two ways to do it. Your machine comes with a little metal hook thing, a little metal hook for putting the thread through, but I'm showing you guys a difficult way so that you guys don't have any issues, just in case you don't have that specific part. And now when I drop the thread through, you can see that thread just came out the bottom. It's that simple. I'm going to go ahead and pull it all the way through. All right, now that I've pulled it through, all right, through the bottom, all I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put this hook part on my specific on the area where I'm mounting it to, and I'm just going to push this in just like that. And now that I push this in, our thread stay is mounted. Our thread stay is mounted to the machine. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and repeat my process like I was threading the machine. I'm just going to tie a piece of this thread from our spool to the bottom of this thread. Watch me tie it real fast. It's going to take those two threads and tie them together, make a loop. Boom. Tie it like that together, make a little knot. Tie it together. Now I'm going to go to the front of my machine and I'm just going to pull the thread all the way through, and our first thread stay will be mounted. Now this part is very, very important. Make sure when you're mounting your thread stays, you adjust them a little bit off to the right side, okay? A little bit off to the right side. All right, so in this case, the first one, this distance would be just fine. Thread number 2, I want to come a little bit over to the right side. And it's safe to say that the distance would be another thread stay away. All right, so we got 1 space, 2 space, 3 spaces, a little bit off to the right side. Same with thread number 3, thread number 4. Thread number 4 can go under this thread right here, the thread next to it. And now I've went ahead and turned on our machine. Now I'm just going to finish mounting this thread right here. So I'm just going to grab this piece right here, take it out of the needle, and I'm just going to pull all the way through until that part of our thread, something seems to be stuck here, there we go, until that part of our thread that's tied, and here it is right here. Here's this part right here. We got it. And I'm going to take some snips and I'm just going to snip our thread like this. All right, now I'm going to take my extra and just feed it through the needle like I would normally do right here. Excuse me. Let's feed it through the needle just like that. Boom, boom, mounted. Put that thread over here. And what I like to do is I like to go ahead and put our thread on needle number 1. Our machine on needle number 1, and go ahead and hit the scissors cut button. Make sure your fingers are clear. Hit the scissors cut button so that hook can just grab our thread. And now thread stay number 1 is mounted and we are ready to go. Repeat the process for threads 2 through 15, and your machine will be ready to go with the thread stays. Now let's repeat that process and mount another one. So once again, in this case we're going to do thread number 2. We're going to grab our black thread. We're going to unravel it just a little bit, just enough so we can have enough to tie on to the other thread. And then we're going to snip it. And as I did before, we're going to take this opportunity to wipe off the top of our thread rack right here, where the thread goes. Then we're going to take our thread stay right here. We're going to grab a piece of thread, take our thread stay, drop that thread right through the top right there, and wiggle it through till it gets all the way down. All right. Or you can use that little small metal rod that came with your embroidery machine. Once it comes out the bottom, you're just going to fish it through just like that. And then you're going to take your thread stay and mount it this way. You're going to face it this way so that this shoe part right here is facing this ledge part right here. And then you're just going to mount it right in front of thread number 2. Just slide it in just like that. And we have our second thread stay mounted. We're going to take our thread, unravel just a little bit more, and then we're going to tie the 2 pieces of thread together. Really, really easy once you understand how to do it. Get the 2 threads together, loop around your fingers, fish one through. All right, fish both of them through, actually. Takes a little while to do sometimes when you get used to it. Tie them together and pull them through the front. All right, what I like to do sometimes is I like to roll this back onto itself and then sit it down. And look how easily this is not going to get tangled with that. See how this separates both of them? These right here have the tendency of getting tangled up together sometimes when it's just hanging like that. But with the thread stays, it eliminates all of those issues right there. So very, very handy. I hope you guys find it very useful. I'm just going to go to the front, fish this thread through, and we'll be all mounted. It's just that simple to mount your thread stays, guys. I got 2 down, 13 more to go. And that is the proper way to mount your thread stays, okay? And in the back, they all should look like this. Notice how slanted, 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 so on and so forth. Each one is slanted to the side. This is looking at them from the back view. Slanted to the side, slanted to the side, okay? Slanted to the side. And that's the proper way to mount the thread stays.